What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Thursday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium. We are back for another Thursday here on The Squeeze. I will preface this by saying this video is going to be a little bit quicker than normal. We've got a daughter upstairs who woke up not feeling the greatest today, a little bit under the weather. She is home from daycare, so I have to do some dad duties. So we're going to get sort of right to it. It was a 1-1-1 day yesterday. We had the Blue Jays in the first 5 innings. We just needed them to score 2 runs. They scored 0. They lost. I don't want to talk about it. We had the Boston Red Sox money line in the first 5 innings as well. They were down 4-1, I think, and they rallied in the 5th inning. That ended up being a push. This is why I talk about push potential. I like money line first fives. I like round numbers because of that. And then in the WNBA, you had the LA Sparks to cover -7.5. They did that easily. They won by 29 points. Incredible closing line value yesterday on our main 3 bets. Closing line value of 2.8% on the Jays, 6% on the Red Sox, and 7% on the Sparks. We bet that if you got in early at -7.5, it closed at -10.5. 3 points. That's why you need to be in the Discord. It's linked in the description below where I post everything first. 9 times out of 10, I'm getting positive closing line value, and that's why, which means we're making smart bets, which means we're making good bets, which means that's where the money's going afterwards and the lines are changing. So you want to stay on that. Link in the description. Also, the QR code on the screen there. Sign up for a sportsbook. Make a minimum deposit. Guaranteed the best exclusive offers thanks to a partnership with Betstamp and those books. And also, if you wouldn't mind, tell a friend to subscribe to this channel. Okay, let's get into today. Like I said, it's going to have to be a little bit quicker than normal. We're starting in the CFL. We're starting with the Montreal Alouettes. Plus 9.5. This is -118 at Betano. Now, it's 9 a lot of places. I like the 9.5 because even though I like push potential, I like the line at 8 or 9. So 9.5 gives us a win if it lands on a 9. This is a big line. Now, I know that Zach Collaros is back for Winnipeg, and Winnipeg is very good. Okay, they've got the most wins in the CFL because Toronto's had like 50 bye weeks. They're 8-2, but they're just coming off a 1-point win against Calgary last week. Drew Brown stepped in, helped the Bombers grind their way to the 8th win of the season. Again, they were without Zach Collaros. Demario Houston's pick 6 played a big part of that win over the Stamps as well. It was the only touchdown that either team would score on the night. Bombers are good, no doubt about it, but Montreal is kind of a little bit sneaky good. They're coming off a 1-point win against Ottawa. They're 6-3. They're only 1 game back of the Argos. Caleb Evans found his way into the end zone. He led the Alouettes into the win column once again. Head coach Jason Moss. They're finding ways to win. Their streak is now up to 4 games, despite a lot of injuries around them. You know, the Argos are sort of the forefront of the Eastern Division, but the Alouettes are just 2 points behind the Argos right now, and this is going to be a great football game. I'm very excited for this football game. It is at home in Winnipeg. I just think the spread is too big. 9.5. Maybe the books are starting to figure it out a little bit. Now, I've been ice cold in the CFL, so if you want to go the other way, that's fine too. Maybe Zach Collaros comes back and the Bombers blow the doors off, but Montreal hasn't really had the doors blown off at all this season. When you look at them recently, they've beat Ottawa by 1, they beat Saskatchewan by 30, they beat Hamilton by 13, they beat Calgary by 13. In their losses, they lost to Toronto, but that was only by 8, and that was way back when it was week 3 or 4. They did lose to Winnipeg 17-3 once this season, but that was in week 3. It was pretty early on. And you look at Winnipeg, they're not winning by a huge number. They've beat Calgary by 1. They beat Edmonton by 9. They smoked BC. That was a weird football game. And they beat Edmonton again by 14. But Edmonton's, the worst team in the league. And so I just think the spread's a little bit too big. So I'm taking the Alouettes on the road here, plus 9.5. That's -118 at Betano. Next bet, we're going to go to the WNBA. I'm taking another, I lean towards, I am betting Minnesota plus 7.5 in this game, the underdog. But the main bet is going over 168.5. This is -110 at DraftKings. I like this spot a lot. These teams play over on this season. Minnesota is 18-15 to the over. Dallas is 19-14 to the over. These two teams have played 3 times this season. It's gone over every single time. The line was 170. It went over by 7. 167. It went over by 7. And 168.5, same line as today, that went over by 14.5. That was back on May 30th. The over is 14-2 in the Lynx last 16 games versus a team with a winning record. The over is 6-1 in their last 7 games following a win. The over is 6-1 in the Lynx last 7 games playing on 1 day's rest. Now, Dallas, over is 6-0 in their last 6 games playing on 1 day's rest. Over is 4-0 in their last 4. Over is 12-2 in their last 14 overall. Over is 5-1 in their last 6 on the West versus the West. And like I said, over is 4-0 every game this season. So ride the trend. Over 168.5 for -110 at DraftKings. And on a side, on official play, I do like Minnesota plus 7.5 there as well. And the last bet of the day, we're going to go with an under. So no money line bets today. Interesting. Boston and Houston. It's a 2 o'clock first pitch in Houston. That's Eastern time. You've got the Boston Red Sox going up against the Houston Astros. Boston was hot coming into this series. Not so hot anymore. They've lost the first 2 games of this series 9-4 and 7-3. But I like this game to go under. You've got the early start. It's a getaway game. It's the 3rd game of this series in which Houston's already won 2. Those weird sort of getaway day games where you've played late, you come back early, I tend to favor the pitching in those matchups. You've got Brian Bello going for the Red Sox. He's been phenomenal over his last 5 starts. He's 4-1 with an ERA of 2.6. His last time out, he went 6 innings, gave up 1 earned run to the Yankees. Previous to that was a bit rocky. He gave up 4 to the Tigers, but before that he went 7 innings, gave up 1 to Kansas City. When you look at Houston, they've got JP France going. He's also been phenomenal. 4-1, 1.4 ERA, going 7 innings over his last 5 starts. So he gave up 2 to Seattle, 2 to LA, 2 to Cleveland, 0 to Texas, and 1 to Oakland, all in 7 innings. So it's sort of that weird little, early start time. Like I said, I like to favor the pitching over the bats in that instance. So let's go under 9. And it's almost even money. That's -105 at Bet365. I apologize. The video and podcast is a little bit shorter today. Got to go take care of some stuff. So give me Montreal plus 9.5. That's -118 at Betano. Give me the Minnesota Lynx and the Dallas Wings to go over 168.5 for -110 at DraftKings. And give me the Red Sox and the Astros under 9, -105 at Bet365. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following. Follow me across all my social channels linked in the description. Audio on Spotify and on Apple. Have a great Thursday. Let's talk sports.